Good day, 360 family. What do you think of this little helmet? The boys are through to the semi-finals. There are only 4 teams left. It's been an incredible World Cup. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure you guys have too. Congratulations to all the fans out there and to those teams that have qualified. It's going to be an incredible finish to what's been a really good tournament. We got our upset, guys. We got Afghanistan in there. We called for a surprise package in the semi-finals of this World Cup, and Afghanistan somehow managed to qualify for this year's T20 World Cup semi-finals, knocking Australia out with that incredible win against Bangladesh. So 4 teams standing: South Africa, India, England, and Afghanistan. Obviously, as you know, South Africa will be facing Afghanistan. That's later today, very early in the morning for us here in South Africa. This game starts at 2:30 a.m. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to have to bite the bullet and be there for the boys, as I showed you guys. That's where my heart is. I truly believe the boys have it this year, but 3 other big contenders that will have something to say about that. So guys, before I start, please post your comments down below in the descriptions box, ask questions, also subscribe to the channel as per usual, follow me in socials, and we will cover the rest of this World Cup. It has been simply outstanding so far. South Africa, Afghanistan playing in Trinidad, which I'm very excited about. I've been there before. I know what it's about over there. The fact that I'm excited has got a lot to do about the seam bowling attack of South Africa that I feel will have a big say in the semi-final against Afghanistan in Trinidad. Trinidad, not as well known for slow turning wickets as the rest of the Caribbean. There's a little bit of something for the seamers to play with, and that's what I'm excited about for these guys. As you know, Anrich Nortje, Kagiso Rabada, there's a bit of pace there. And Marco Jansen, left arm tall, bounce. Hopefully that will be the strength for South Africa going into the semi-finals. Definitely the bowling attack of SA against the batting attack of Afghanistan. If the Afghanistani batters can stand up tall against the SA seamers, we're going to have a big game in hand. If not, I feel it's going to be an easy win for SA. I'm not making any predictions, guys. I'm just talking about the ins and outs of the game and the psychological side of it. It's very clear to me that it's the SA bowlers against Afghanistan batters. And obviously, not much turn there, but still, the Afghanistan spinners will have something to say about the SA batters as well. You know, Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed. We saw what they are capable of as a bowling unit as well, defending a really low score against Bangladesh under pressure with a bit of rain around, and really standing tall at the end of the day. Thanks for the comments down below, guys. SA will win. I enjoyed that one. Thank you very much. India against Afghanistan. Interesting call. You never know. Look, I also see that side of it. It's still sport. Anything can happen. And it will be fantastic for the game to see Afghanistan in the World Cup final. Imagine that. And they're so close, they can almost taste it. But South Africa also hasn't been there before. So, guys, give us one break here, please. This is going to be a great semi-finals. It's quite an interesting one because it's not an all-out. What I want to say is like a very balanced 2 teams against each other. I feel it's Afghanistan spinners with South African seamers. So, will it be close? Most probably yes, unless South Africa bowl first and manages to roll over Afghanistan cheaply. Otherwise, I feel it's going to be a really close game. And it comes down to knockout games. You know what it's about. It's playing those small moments really well. Will SA still play with the 2 spinners? Good question. I don't think so. Let's see what they come up with. I'm not there. I don't have the ins and outs exactly of the conditions as we speak. All I can fall back on is what I've experienced in the past. Trinidad, what I can remember. There's a bit of movement. It's a little bit quicker than the rest of the wickets, similar to Barbados in a way, where the rest of the Caribbean is a little bit slower, a bit more turn. Wickets get slower as the game goes on. From what I remember is the seamers are in the game over there in Trinidad, and that's what I'm excited about for South Africa. So I do expect possibly Shamsi to fall out there and another seamer coming in. Otherwise, stick to what's been working, right? We won that game with Shamsi in there. He had a fantastic game. He turns the ball both ways. But does that play into Afghanistan's hands? Perhaps. I think it's time to make a bold move, maybe, and just go with your seamers on a wicket that I feel doesn't really suit spin bowling as much as the rest of the Caribbean. So there's my 2 cents. It's going to be great to watch. It's happening later today, guys. It's all to play for. Rashid Khan, Aiden Markram. And I must say, I was rooting for Rashid and his boys in that last game. I really enjoy the Afghanistan guys. I've met most of them, all down-to-earth, humble guys who play a competitive game of cricket, and that's what I love about them. A little bit of controversy here as a former South African, also former England player, Jonathan Trott, as the coach of Afghanistan, asking the guys to slow things down. The thing is, it was quite funny. I was almost in tears laughing, and at the end of the day, it had no bearing on the game. Mitchell Marsh said, absolutely. It was really funny to watch this. The players took it to heart when the coach said slow it down. All he meant was maybe have a little chat about field placings or bring the cow in, take that guy out, save 10 seconds so we can go off for the rain. Don't collapse and pretend like you're injured. So I've been in a situation like that before as well with a really good friend of mine. I'm just trying to think if I should mention his name or not. But anyway, I'm going to. I know you'll forgive me. Imran Tayyar, my really, really good friend and former teammate for the Proteas. We played a test series in Sri Lanka once. There were 2 overs left. And the rules are if you finish the final or the second last over before you're going to the final over, that last over inevitably will be bowled. Within, as long as you finish within time. And that happened. So we bowled Sri Lanka bowled the second last over. They needed 2 wickets to win the test match. We needed to save the 2 wickets to draw the test match to go to number 1 in the world. So there's a lot on stake. The message out there to Imran, and I think he was batting with Vernon Philander at the time. The message was just waste as much time as possible within the laws of the game. So similar to Afghanistan, yeah, Imi took it to heart. When that second last over was bowled, it's finished, he collapsed. And I'm still to this day, I'm not sure what happened to him. But the funny side of that is very similar to this situation. That final over still was bowled. It still got bowled. So if you want to waste a bit of time within the rules, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you play it by the rules. For both teams, Proteas back in the day with that test match and also Afghanistan here had absolutely no impact in the result of the game. The guys still came back on and finished their overs. But what a fantastic game to watch. It was nail-biting, edge of the seat kind of stuff. But coming back to Afghanistan, having met most of the guys, down to earth, hardworking, good human beings. And I can't help but be a fan. Obviously, in this game, I'm not a fan against Aiden Markram and the boys who haven't lost a game this World Cup, guys. How incredible is that? They've won 7 in a row now, and they almost got knocked out in that final game, right? Simply incredible. Most teams have had the luxury of losing a game and coming back, except for India. Obviously, they've had a fantastic World Cup as well. Other than that, guys have lost games, England, everyone else. And still, they didn't have that pressure of having to win again. So South Africa, a little bit unfair in a way, but having to play quarterfinals against the West Indies, the co-host. And that win, even though it was nail-biting and close, will mean the world to the Proteas team. And the open letter that I sent to the boys yesterday, tongue in the cheek, as you know me, a bit of a funny a tweet from me. I know a lot of people write these open letters on Twitter, and it's very emotional and dramatic and deep. And I just said, open letters to the Proteas trophy. Bring it home, lads. So I hope you guys found the humor in that. We've never won a World Cup. So as much as I want to write a book to these guys and tell them all about my experiences, sometimes it's just time to let go and just to say, you know what, boys, bring it home. You know you've got it. You know you've got what it takes. The Springboks, our rugby boys, have showed that. No need for drama and emotions. Just go and play cricket and enjoy every minute of it. It's a great privilege to firstly play in a World Cup and secondly to be in a semi-finals. This is what you live for, and that's my message really, is just to go and enjoy it. You grow up as a youngster, 4, 5, 6 years old, you look at your heroes on television, on the television screen. I think of Brian McMillan, Dave Richardson, John T. Rhodes, Alan Donald, Gary Kirsten, guys I watched growing up, and I thought at the age of 5, 6, that's what I want to do one day, and hopefully we bring that cup home for the boys one day. So now I'm sitting here as a former player, and I'm telling these guys, just go and enjoy it. What a great privilege. But yes, I spoke about the 7 in a row. I mentioned that on X as well. And I still believe the Proteas' best cricket is yet to come. I still believe that, guys. I haven't played a good game of cricket, really. They haven't convincingly fired on all cylinders with bat, ball, and in the field. And I truly believe that win against the West Indies, the hosts, everything against you, haven't been pushed into the corner to play a quarterfinals after winning 6 in a row. Now you got to go with that mental edge or mental fatigue and the psychology of having to win another one. You win 6 in a row in the World Cup. You deserve to have the freedom to lose one. They didn't get that. So the confidence they will take from that, I feel, will push them into such a mental state where they're going to play the best cricket in these last 2 games. Can someone stop them? Obviously. But I truly believe if the Proteas fire on all cylinders, they're going to be very tough to stop. Can SA win the T20 World Cup 2024? There's your answer. Look at that. Take it in. Breathe it in. It's coming home. I will lick my wins if we don't, but I'm quietly confident. I back the boys, and I feel the best is yet to come. Let's cover the other semi-finals then. India, England, both huge nations who have played incredible cricket as well. England obviously stumbling against South Africa. Also haven't been convincing throughout the World Cup. And India, what do we say about India? Flawless, right? But it was very similar in the 50-over World Cup. Flawless until the final. So will it be the same thing? Time will tell. One good thing for India, I must add, Rohit Sharma's form. All of a sudden, the captain is there, the big guy, the Mumbai Indians man, all of a sudden finding form when it matters most. So watch out, England. If this guy fires, the rest of the team will have a breeze. They can almost bat left-handed if they're a righty. They can chill and just enjoy the show, because if guys bat around Rohit Sharma, India will be very tough to stop. But once again, India, just a flawless team. There's no weakness in that side. From the bowling attack, they're fielding the batters. And with Rohit in form, it's going to be tough to stop. It's going to take something very special from Jos Buttler and his men, who haven't played their best cricket in this World Cup, to stop them. But guys, at the end of the day, it's still sport. It takes 1 or 2 players to stand up on the day and decide, you know what, I'm going to make the most of a little bit of form that I have. I'm going to show BMT for my team, for my country. And that sometimes is really difficult to play against. I played most of my cricket with that in my heart, that passion, the fire. And you achieve incredible things when you play the game for the right reasons. And so at the end of the day, for England, we'll take 1 or 2 guys to decide, you know what, we're up against a really good Indian team. If we play them 10 times, we'll probably lose 8. But at the end of the day, this is a semi-finals, and I'm playing for my country. And if you have that kind of mindset, supernatural power sometimes comes out if you don't falter to the pressure. Alrighty, please motivate Virat to get back in form. Virat will be there, don't you worry. He's now playing with a little bit less pressure. Haven't seen Rohit in good form. He's got a fantastic batting order under him. Virat can just go and watch the ball and play. I'm not sure what's happening with his form. At the end of the day, cricket can be a fickle sport. It's up and down. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride sometimes. And when you're down, but you're playing with this, sometimes you're at your most dangerous. So I believe Virat's got a lot of this, and what I'm showing there is heart, guts, fighting spirit, courage. So when it matters most, those are the kind of guys you want in your team. So I'm expecting fireworks from him and Team India. Definitely favouring Team India to go out and win. But I want to add, there are a few English boys who have done it before, who've won World Cups in the past, especially T20 World Cups. They know what's required of them. They've got a lot of match winners in that side, and they will be dangerous. Alrighty, they are playing in Guyana, by the way. It says Providence there. That's obviously not so easy to figure out where it is, but the island is Guyana, and I have spoken about it before. I've played there a few times. Takes a bit more turn, a little bit slow on the slow side, but it can be flat as well. but generally not a very high scoring ground. It'll be relatively flat with a new ball, and then it starts taking a bit of turn from what I remember. Remember, I'm speaking about many years back, but generally that's probably what you'll see. Daniel, Avi, what are your thoughts on only one semi-final having a reserve day? India, I didn't know that. That's news for me. Thank you very much for letting me in on that. Look, it's tough, it's harsh, but that's maybe where if you finish top of the log, India haven't had lost a game, South Africa haven't lost a game. If there is rain around, maybe they do deserve to go through. I don't know. South Africa have won 7 World Cup games in a row. Same with India. So maybe they do deserve to go through if there's rain around. I think it's harsh, though. Knockout games, you want to see a reserve day. Not ideal. That's my thoughts. And India, England going to be very rain affected, you say. Okay. Can you maybe just let me in? Is that the game you're talking about that doesn't have the reserve day? I think so, because South Africa, Afghanistan is today. India, England tomorrow. So I think then you mention, or what you mention here is that India, England won't have a reserve day, which is quite harsh. But at the end of the day, India haven't lost a game. If there's rain around, so be it. Let them go through. I think we can all agree they've been the best T20 team in the world over the last few months. Certainly in this tournament, they've been the best team. South Africa, maybe a close second, because they haven't won convincingly as India have throughout this tournament. So I would say India top of the list, India close second, South Africa close second. If there's rain around, so be it. Anyway, let's take a few questions, guys. I'm going to be around for another 5 minutes. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think of the semi-finals. Post your questions down below in the descriptions box. And thanks for joining me. We're having a lot of fun. We're hitting the climax of this T20 World Cup. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed the Caribbean. You can see the atmosphere in the stands, right? I've spoken about that in one of the previous shows. It's just that atmosphere of the Caribbean people loving cricket. They come around, they dance, there's music. There's just always a great atmosphere. There's lots of foreigners traveling there as well. As you've seen with the games, a lot of English fans, South African fans, Bangladeshi fans, with the Sri Lankans, Indian fans, everyone is around. And then obviously the locals bringing that flavor of the Caribbean cricket. We've all seen those videos of youngsters playing cricket on the beaches. So I grew up playing cricket in the backyard and on the tar roads in India, in the dirt roads and the tar roads of India. But in the Caribbean, you go to the beach and you play beach cricket. And that's what the Caribbean is all about. Absolutely outstanding. All right, so I'm going to take 3 or 4 questions, guys, and then we're going to cut it off. I need to go do a bit of mental preparation for this semi-finals of South Africa and Afghanistan. AB, your thoughts on Australia this year? Avantika, thanks so much for being a super fan, by the way. Your thoughts on Australia this year? Did they take it too easy? Was making Marsh captain over Pat Cummins a mistake? Firstly, very refreshing not to see them in the knockouts, and I mean that with a lot of respect. Because we know the Aussies in knockout stages, they are brutal. They generally get the job done. So it's nice not to have them there, and refreshing for South Africa not having to have to play Australia in that semis. It's refreshing. But all due respect to Australia, they've been incredible over the years with World Cups. I won't say they took it too easy. World Cups, it's a tricky one. You either do it or you don't. It comes down to small moments. And it's quite ironic that Afghanistan was the team that to finally knock them out, beating Bangladesh and forcing Australia to fall out of the knockout stages. Where in the ODI World Cup, it was Australia to knock Afghanistan out in that huge game when Maxwell scored a double 100. He didn't have the same kind of luck this time around. He was still the guy that looked most dangerous. And honestly, I was watching the game, and the minute Maxi got out, I thought to myself, there's the one guy that's really got control over the Afghanistan bowling attack. And after that, it was plain sailing for them. Anyway, that's the previous game. I'm not talking about the Bangladesh one now. Marsh over Cummins, definitely. We spoke about this. I think we were at the IPL in one of those shows. We were chatting about Cummins sort of stepping down. We felt that the IPL commentators alongside me felt that it was probably Pat Cummins' call, not that he was dropped. where Cummins is taking on quite a lot. He's had a lot of success. He's also a test captain, ODI captain. To do all 3 formats these days, not so easy anymore. So we all felt in the Geo Cinema studios that Cummins made that call himself. And you can't say it's a mistake. I mean, Mitchell Marsh is a fantastic player, really good leader. And we all want to look at results at the end of the day, right? That's what fans do. So looking back now, we'll say, yeah, Marsh didn't win, so he's a bad captain. Cummins is a great captain because he recently won the ODI World Cup. Why wasn't he captain? It's not as simple as that, guys. You can't always look at the results. Generally, I felt that the Australian team looked like a happy team. They gave it their best, and it wasn't meant to be on what was a tricky World Cup, right? Turning wickets, slow, low, not really their game. So at the end of the day, if you really look at the stats, strength versus strength, it's not a huge surprise that they're not there. They're not really known as a country that plays spin incredibly well. So I think that was probably their downfall. Let's move on then. Avantika, thanks for that. I don't think it was a mistake, and I honestly feel it was Cummins' call. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. David Warner, big news, steps out of international cricket. He is finished. The Hog, lots of respect for this guy. He's had a fantastic career internationally in all formats. He's won a lot of games for Australia in every single format, T20s, ODIs, Test cricket. He was an incredible competitor to play cricket against. I know a lot of bowling attacks, especially early on. Early on in his career, it was really tough to bowl against, intimidating, very powerful at the crease, ran hard between the wickets. You would call out loud, your typical Australian cricket player. I think since the Cape Town incident in the Test series against South Africa, he's taken a lot of strain mentally, I feel. His game sort of changed after that. And you could just feel like the tank is getting a bit emptier and emptier by the day. He still had some incredible games towards the back end of his career, lifting another World Cup with Australia in India. So I think you'll look back at his career and you'll be proud about what he's achieved and what he's accomplished over the years. And I think no one can question that. Incredible player. I was his teammate at the Delhi Daredevils. We had some great times together. And Davey Warner, thanks for everything you've done for cricket. Alrighty, let's cut that there. Guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, also like the show. I will be covering more as we get to the climax of this World Cup. I must add, this weekend, around the final, I will be on the farm. There's Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna try and jump on and give you my ins and outs and my 2 cents of the final. So stay tuned for that. I'm not guaranteeing anything because I will not be here in my studio where it's comfy and warm. But I'm going to try and jump on and give you guys a little bit of feedback on what I thought about the 2 semi-finals. That's Saturday, just before the finals. So tune in for that. I will make an effort, okay? I'll get on. All right, Ravi. Thanks, Mr. Superfan or Mrs. I'm not sure. Sometimes Ravi can be a girl as well. I'm not sure because Vamsi, Krishna, I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Mrs., it doesn't really matter. Why SA still favouring Reza over Rickleton? He has proven his worth in SA domestic games for sure. No doubt about it. Excuse me. It's that story of, do you change your winning recipe? And I spoke about it also in the previous show where I was talking about a team sometimes carrying an individual. Where you have a team performing. You've won 7 games in a row in a World Cup. Do you go and chop and change the team then? Strategically, yes, you can. But to do something like that is a big call. We know what Reza is capable of. We've seen him play some incredible knocks in the past. Once again, I feel like it's an individual call. Maybe coming from Reza, going to a coach and saying, listen, coach, I'm not feeling it. You'll be better off playing someone else in these knockout stages. If not, he'll still believe in himself, and we know what he's capable of. He can come off in the semi-finals of the World Cup, be that really important base and foundation for the South African batting lineup. So it takes a lot of pressure off of Quinton de Kock when he sort of plays like the glue of the team. Take your time. That'll be my message to Reza. Just take your time, play good cricket shots. That's when he's at his most dangerous. He's not the forceful kind of guy. He doesn't play an aggressive game of cricket. Just stick to who you are. Hit the ball straight, play it nice and late under your eyes, and let Quinny take the risks up front. But give Quinny that base. And then there's also obviously a case to play Ryan Rickleton. It's a big move. It'll be a bit of a disruption. This guy hasn't played a game in this entire World Cup. It'll be quite a bold move. Never say never. We'll see what the SA selectors come up with, and the coach and the captain. But I'm expecting to see Reza there again, and I'm backing him to play well. No doubt, Rickleton is a fantastic player, and he's got a lot of runs for the Proteas, hopefully in the near future. Bartman or Shamsi, who are you backing in the semis? I spoke about bringing in a seamer in Trinidad. That's a little bit more seamer friendly from what I remember. But once again, guys, I'm not there. The coaches will have to walk out there probably today before the game. Have a look at the wicket. Is there a bit of moisture in the wicket? Will there be seam movement? Will there be swing? And that's where you make your decision. I think both these players need to be ready because it can go either way. Shamsi luckily showed a bit of form in that last game, so he's a real contender for that spot. It can go either way. There's also a case with our seamers are good enough. There's enough seam to play Shamsi. If Rabada and Orkia are not the guys to run through that batting attack, will Bartman make such a big difference? So I don't know. It's tough to say. Once again, it's up to the selectors to make the decision. I'm going for Bartman personally. From what I remember at Trinidad, there's a bit of movement, and I feel if Rabada and Orkia can make that breakthrough early on, Bartman will also have a few cards on the table. Yeah, so guys, that's the semi-finals later on today. It is in Trinidad, Tarouba. It's a fantastic place to play cricket. There's the Trini Posse, which is at the cow corner at this cricket ground where there's always a big vibe. Trust me, it'll be on the TV screen, so look out for that. They call it the Trini Posse, where they do a lot of dances and there's a vibe and it's an atmosphere. I remember in between balls fielding for the Proteas back in the day, I would always look at that corner and go like, wow, they're having a good time. And that's the Caribbean for you. Guys, 27 minutes in, I'm going to cut it short. I want to congratulate all 4 teams for making the knockout stages. What a great tournament it has been. It's the World Cup knockouts coming up. We've been looking forward to this moment for a long, long time. Go the Proteas. Just one more kiss on screen for my team. Bring it home, boys. Open letter to you guys. We've got this. Alrighty, to all of you, have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Subscribe to the channel. Do what you need to do. And yeah, lots of great cricket to look forward to. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys soon.